Welcome to the Reality of Herbal Therapy Podcast, episode 76, Clear Your Lines. So the other day, I was feeling kind of tired and just sort of run down and stuff, but there wasn't anything else really wrong with me. And so Lynn was kind of concerned with, everything, all this stuff going around. That she wanted me to get checked out. So I went and got checked on. And when I talked with the person checking me out, basically they said my heart is struggling because I'm not digesting correctly and there's sort of like a blockage in my small intestine. So I'm not digesting enough. And so that was what was causing me to be tired. So they suggested I take a couple of things, and so we added I started taking Zyme along with some of the things that she told me to take, and she was saying it would change how my digestion and how I'd feel and stuff, and within a few days I was kind of feeling better, but I didn't notice anything much different about my digestion. It just wasn't really different. So because she said there was a bit of a blockage in my small intestines, I really wanted to kind of clear it out. Because the stuff she was having me take didn't really cut it. So then I started taking Clean-Lax and colonic caps to try and get it to clear out the problem. And because I really didn't notice the problem, I couldn't tell if they were working or not. But Clean-Lax is amazing. I've had times when I'm not really constipated, but sluggish. And so I've taken Clean-Lax, and that really made a huge difference. But this time I wasn't feeling that. So, I took them and figured, hey, I'm probably doing better. Then I was, just last week, I was kind of feeling... Yeah, and there was a stomach thing going around. And so I took Colser for the stomach thing that's going around. And I took it 2, and I did it 3 times in one day. And oh my goodness, the stuff that it cleared out of my system was just amazing. And I was really surprised by what that it cleaned out. And it reminded me that Scott, when he was... It was really funny when Scott was taking his herbology course. He would be sitting there and he's like, we really need to do this because this would be amazing. Doing this and having some formula with this herb in it would just be the greatest thing. And I'd say, well, that herb is actually used in... he was talking about something for the adrenals, and I'm like, well, it's in low sugar, which is for the adrenals. But one day he was talking about mixing cranesbill and marshmallow together, and the cranesbill would actually help if anything was stuck to the walls of the intestines. It would actually attach to it, and because it's like a mucus, they call it a mucosal rope. So you get mucus along there, and it just sort of like sticks, and you don't actually digest as well. And the cranesbill, along with the marshmallow, would stick to it and pull that out. And so he was telling me about that, and I'm like, oh, so like Colser. And Scott's like, Dad was a genius. He would always get really excited at how, we had these things. And it's funny, like, that Dad was a genius because Colser, so if you know the story, Granddad, which is I keep wanting to call them by their family names. Dr. James's father, Granddad, Scott, had he was a ways away doing some other things, and so he was just getting started trying different things and things, and so they sent him a letter and they said, well, Granddad's not feeling very well. He's got high blood pressure and it's just kind of having some effects on him. So Dr. James went through some of his herb books and picked out a few things, and he's like, he should take this. This will help with his high blood pressure. And Dr. James always felt that he was very much, he used the word inspired, that he was inspired to put together a formula for an individual person. And that's why the formulas work so well, is because he was guided to build that formula for a certain person. And then he found that it would work for groups of people. And that's how the formulas came to be. So the formula that he made for Granddad's hypertension, for his high blood pressure, was 4 very simple things. It was golden seal, myrrh, crane's bill, and marshmallow root. So he came up with those by going through his herb texts. The thing is that they weren't being 100% honest with him. It turns out that Granddad was having a severe bout of colitis and having some really bad intestinal issues. And the herbs that Dr. James suggested for Granddad actually took care of all of these issues he was having. And so when he found out that it wasn't high blood pressure, that it was actually digestive issues, he started looking at it and realized that the formula that he had created for high blood pressure, really, it can work, but there are things that are better. But for digestive issues, it is the most amazing thing. I know Lynn swears by Colser. She doesn't go more than a few weeks without taking it, just to make sure that her digestive tract works properly and functions properly. Veronica, Dr. James's wife, always took Colser. It's very, very, not only does it help with digestion, it can help soothe any things like ulcers, colitis, mixing words together and coming up with the name Colser. Ulcers, colitis, any like really discomfort things. Colser will help with the discomfort, but it also helps to heal any issue from the esophagus down into your stomach, to your small intestines, your large intestines. It will help keep that functioning properly and going properly. It's an amazing formula. Another amazing thing that it does is what Dr. James would call gallbladder colic. And what that is basically your bile is so thick that it can't pass into the gallbladder and can't get out of the gallbladder. And sometimes that's caused by there's too many stones and things like that. But when you're having that gallbladder colic, it's extremely painful on the right side, just underneath just at the bottom of your ribs, right there where your liver's at. It's like somebody's like punching you over and over again, and it just like the pain is really intense. It's very, very painful. And if you take 6 Colser every 15 minutes until it goes away. And usually you only have to do that like once, maybe twice. And it will basically, it makes that bile more open and susceptible and makes it easier to move out. And it's an amazing thing to get that relief, to get to clear out that pain. And then after that happens, you want to follow up with Live Clean and Colser for several weeks, like every day, to clear it out so that you don't get that again. A lot of the liver problems can build up. And then after you do Live Clean for 15 days, it's really good to do a liver flush, which is on our website and I can link to in the show notes. It's really, really helpful for that. So I hope that this discussion's been helpful. If you have any digestive issues, get some Colser. It'll make a world of difference in just about any digestive issue you have. It soothes the digestive tract and makes it work so much better. And we will talk to you next time. It is not the intent of professional herbal instruction or any persons associated therewith to diagnose or prescribe. The intent is only to offer herbal information for your consideration. In the event you use this information without your doctor's approval, you are prescribing for yourself, which is your God-given right. But professional herbal instruction or any persons associated herewith assume no responsibility. The claims and statements made on this podcast have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.